And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the AFC South Roundtable, powered, of course, by BetUS. And I don't know if you guys know this, but BetUS actually has a casino. So if that's something that interests you guys, if you guys like, slots or live casino dealers, whether it's blackjack or poker, whatever it is, BetUS has an amazing sign-up bonus of 200% up to $5,000. And if you're into crypto, they have a 250% sign up bonus using crypto up to $5,000. Definitely check that out if that's something that interests you guys. I mean, the off season is here, so what else do we have to do? You guys can go take advantage of that. So with that said, it's the off season. Like finally, I mean, I know for me, like when your team goes 4-13 and you're as bad as you are, you just want the offseason to get here. You're like, let's get this crap over with. We're playing meaningless games. Me and Titans Rossi team were out here having pillow fights, and yay, the Jaguars swept the Titans. Yeah, fun stuff. Here's the number one overall pick. You know what? The Jaguars had just split it. We'd had the number one pick, right? But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not salty. We're gonna get a good player at number 5 overall. So with that said, what we're going to do this video, we're going to all give one big bold prediction for each of our teams this offseason. So we'll start out with Titans Rossi. Give us a bold prediction that you have for the Titans this offseason.
Yeah, it stunk this season, man. And it's kind of stunk the past couple seasons because it's like, we come on this show and it's like, this is one of these shows. Like we're supposed to kind of talk crap and like, go at each other and stuff like that. And when my team is so terrible, the quarterback is so terrible. I mean, every aspect of the team is terrible, the offense, the defense. It's like I had to come on here every week and be like, oh, we just suck. Like, what else can I say about it? Like, really? Like, what else? I have nothing to fight about. I have nothing to cheer about. So it was just kind of like, I love doing the show and it's fantastic. The fans, shout out to everybody in the chat who supported us this whole season, which was phenomenal. But it's just tough, man. I'm hoping the Titans can make some moves and get better. But I would say, listen, like my bold prediction is I don't think the Titans are going to draft Sanders or Ward, and I don't think they're going to take the number one pick. I think they can get a king's ransom for that number one pick. Like somebody is going to go out there. A lot of people are talking about the Raiders at number 9 because Dion and all this stuff. I think it's going to be some type of trade like that, something of that nature. And my bold prediction is not even that. It's that the Titans are going to sign Aaron Rodgers.
Wow. So
The
what makes you
Titans
say
are going
that?
to. I just had this feeling, man. Like there was so much going on when Aaron Rodgers, before he went to the Jets, all these rumors. And I'm sure there were rumors all over the league. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers was spotted in every city in that, that needed a quarterback. Like, oh, we saw Aaron Rodgers at the local Mickey D's getting a double cheeseburger or something. And it was like that in Nashville. Like apparently he bought property in Nashville, and that was real. I went to WWE Raw last night, and George Kittle was there. He has property in Nashville. But I really think they're gonna that's my bold prediction. They're gonna get Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be a bridge guy, whether it's 1 or 2 years. The Titans are probably gonna be terrible next year, and they're gonna try and get their guy. Not this season, but the next season when you got all these quarterbacks coming out like Nico, from the Vols and Arch Manning and all these other guys that are going to be coming out in the draft. So that's my prediction. I think the Titans, if they get Rodgers, they go like 7-10 or something. They improve a little bit and, they do something to try and to get a quarterback through the draft. Couple seasons.
So that would definitely be fascinating. You wonder if Aaron Rodgers will be willing to go to the Titans, because I know if he still wants to play football, I don't know if they're in a situation where he thinks he can win there, because I would feel like he'd only go there if he thinks he can win. But
if he can win,
maybe they try to do something. That'll definitely be fascinating. Cody, give us a bold prediction that you have for the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, I have to say, please go to the Titans because I don't want the Colts to even consider Aaron Rodgers. So I'd be fine with that. But well, first off, welcome. Thank you for having me. But also, so I'm gonna of course, since I'm the new guy, I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna do it a couple different ways if that's okay with you.
Do it.
All right. So the idea would be the Colts are gonna make a big swing in terms of a trade. They're going to make a big swing in terms of a trade, and I have two scenarios. I'm not saying they're going to do both. I think they're going to do one of these two. The first one would be I believe they would trade up in the NFL draft to snag an elite talent, whether that's Tyler Warren, whether that's another corner, something like that. I think the Colts trade up because, guys, there was rumors last year that the Colts tried to trade up for Brock Bowers, right? We know very well they tried to do that a year ago.
Thank God they didn't.
It didn't work out, right? It didn't work out that way. Or some people have even said Malik Neighbors, right, as well. But whatever. So I think maybe that could be a possibility. Or if that doesn't work, the Indianapolis Colts make a big swing for former Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinators, star player. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Trey Hendrickson. They're gonna bring Trey Hendrickson in to be that number one edge guy to pair alongside Laiatu Latu for the next couple seasons, hopefully, and we'll see on that. So that's my big prediction. They make some sort of big swing via trade for a player or trade up in the draft to get somebody.
Wow, so that'll be something that's crazy. So I think I'm gonna go to next. I'll let the AFC South champion go last since they already had some success. We've been waiting for this moment since what, October? So I think with the Jaguars, look, the Jaguars have a bunch of draft capital, right? We have the number 5 overall pick in the first round. We have a second round pick, but the Jaguars also have 2 third-round picks and 2 fourth-round picks via the Minnesota Vikings when they traded back for number 17, the number 23 overall in the 2024 NFL draft, and drafted a player named Brian Thomas Jr. So I think the trade worked out pretty well for us. So I think the Jaguars actually pony up, use some of those first round or some of those extra draft picks and move back up into the first round of the draft. So I think when the draft is over, the Jaguars end up with 2 players at the end of Thursday night. Now, who are they going to get? I'm not so sure. I think that there might be a player that falls that say, hey, we have this guy top 12 on our board, and he's fallen to number 25, 26, 27, and they say, man, this guy will fit perfectly. Whether it's a big guy, whether it is, a quarterback that they feel like has a lot of promise. I feel like the Jaguars will try to roll the dice and do something like that because the Jaguars have a decent roster, right? It's not a terrible roster. I think that it's a little bit better than 4-13. I just think that there's a combination of being able to coach it better. Players weren't playing for Doug Peterson, and I think it's a matter of being able to just get more elite players because the Jaguars have a bunch of solid players, but we need more elite players to bring in here. And when you look at, the teams in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the Eagles, they're loaded with guys that are just absolutely elite at their position. So I think the Jaguars end up making a big move, trading up in the first round. They did that in 2022 and drafted Trayvon Walker, then traded up to get Devin Lloyd, who hasn't really worked out. We'll see if he can work out under a third defensive coordinator in 3 straight years, but it hasn't really worked out for us. So I could definitely see the Jaguars doing that in a year with a new GM and a new head coach. So we'll see. So we'll end off with Ruben. Ruben, give us a bold prediction for your Houston Texans.
Well, let's just get the easy one out the way. The Texans will win their 3rd AFC championship.
No, that wasn't the rule. That wasn't the rule, bro. Right. Off season.
Let's do it. The Houston Texans, and I know Mr. UCF brought him up earlier, but the Texans go out and get probably the best guard on the free agent market, and that is Trey Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs. When you have a quarterback like CJ Stroud, who was the 2nd most sacked QB in the league, you need to do everything in your power to protect them. And I'm going to say that every single year that CJ Stroud is here slinging the football for the Houston Texans. Another bold prediction, I don't think they re-sign Stephon Diggs. I think the Houston Texans, they either go younger or they trade for a wide receiver. But once again, I expect the Houston Texans to be very aggressive. Last season, we saw them be the first team to add a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, and a player with double-digit sacks. 2 out of those 3 became Pro Bowlers for you. One of them, Stephon Diggs, unfortunately tore his ACL. But the Texans getting Trey Smith in free agency. I don't know how they do it. They only have $3 million, of cap space, and they also get offensive line help in the draft.
All right, you guys heard it here first. Going to be an exciting offseason to see what happens. And man, I didn't realize that the Texans only had $3 million of cap space, but I do remember they spent a bunch of money last year, bringing in Stephon Diggs and Danielle Hunter and Joe Mixon. I mean, they did a bunch of stuff to that offseason, but not enough love to the O-line, right? I mean, those players are flashy, but you gotta get the trenches good if your offense.
It was the highest paid unit in the NFL. They just sucked. They couldn't pick up a fucking stunt to save their lives.
Jeez, the highest paid. They were
They were the highest paid unit in the NFL. Laramie Tunsil is a top 3 paid left tackle. Titus Howard is a top 10 paid right tackle. Shaq Mason is a top 15 paid right guard. So your money is tied up in those 3 players alone, and 2 out of the 3 were horrible for you this season.
Damn. So yeah, my recommendation is you guys should try to figure that out. Okay, that's my advice from a pro. Okay. I know all about this stuff. So, but with all that said, hey, I appreciate everyone for coming in here and joining us for this video. Like we said, it's gonna be a fun off season. The NFL calendar doesn't sleep. Free agency in March. You have the draft in April, and then you just only have a couple months of rest before preseason
release.
Yeah, schedule release, and before you know it, August comes in here, and you have training camp. So. It's going to be around the clock, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to stay posting videos and live streams right here on the AFC South Roundtable. Appreciate all you guys for joining here. Do us a big favor on your way out and drop a like for us. Also, big shout out to BetUS for powering this video. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Duval.